There are a few post-installation tasks that we need to complete, and we can do most of those directly through Server Manager. Now, Server Manager does open by default every time you log into your server, but if you have closed this screen for some reason, you can simply go to Start, and you'll see Server Manager is in the list. Just click on it, and it'll launch that again. In Server Manager, I'm going to click on Local Server, a few things we want to do. The first, I want to verify that I am activated. So I'm going to click on this beside product ID. If I click on this link here, now I can tell I'm activated because it even says activated here. But I'm going to cancel this, enter a product key. But you'll see it says Windows is activated. If it did not say Windows is activated, it would give you the link to click on to activate it. Now this will automatically activate. If you install, you may come here and it just may not have activated yet because it does take a few minutes after you install before it gets around to the self-activation. So you can click on that just to verify that it is activated. And if it was not activated, it would not say this here. So if you see it says activated, there's no real point to actually click on that. I'm also going to set a static IP address on this machine. Now this machine now is connected to the internet. The reason we did that is because we wanted to activate the operating system. If not, after 10 days, it would start shutting down every hour. So now that it's activated, I'm going to click on this Ethernet where it has my IPv4 address. I'm going to select that. I'm going to double click my network adapter here. And I'll choose Properties. And you'll see Internet Protocol version TCP/IPv4. I'm going to double click that, and it says use the following IP address. I'm going to use the IP address 192.168.1.250. For the subnet mask, I'm just going to click in that box, and it will autofill itself in. The default gateway will stay blank for now, because now that we're activated, we don't want this connecting to the internet, because it would also be connected to your network, and some of the services we run would cause a disruption on your network itself. For the preferred DNS server, I'm going to set that to be the same as the IP address, 192.168.1.250. DNS is a service that takes a name and resolves it to an IP address. That's its primary purpose. So when you go to google.com, that name has to get resolved to an IP address for you to connect to the website. That is the primary purpose of DNS, along with a few other things, but that's the most common. Well, what we will do is install DNS on this server, and we're going to make this its own DNS server in some of the upcoming lessons. So that's why the IP address of the server and the DNS are actually the same. And I'll just choose OK for that, and OK. And we'll just click Close. We'll X out of those windows there. So now that is done. We are activated. We have a static IP address. The last thing I want to do in the virtual machine is to rename it. Now, the virtual machine itself, we did name RTS-DC1. I want the computer to be named RTS-DC1. So the name of the virtual machine in the console is completely separate from the computer name that we see here. This was randomly generated, this win dash, all these letters and numbers. So I want to change that. I'm going to click on this here, and if I go to the change button, that's the current computer name. I'm going to replace that with RTS-DC1, and I'll just choose OK. This will tell us that it has to reboot. I'll say OK on that screen. We'll click Close, and we will say Restart Now, and it's going to begin the restart process. While that's restarting, I'm going to go back to my Hyper-V Manager. And the other thing I'm going to do in the Hyper-V Manager is go to the Virtual Switch Manager again. Right now, our vSwitch we created is using the external network adapter, so it is connected to the internet. I'm going to change that. I'm going to click Private. Private means your virtual machine cannot connect to the internet. It cannot connect directly to the host machine. The only thing it will be able to connect to will be additional virtual machines that we create on this host. So that's what we want. So we have complete isolation from your network, from the internet, so we don't disrupt anything with any of the services that we run. So I'll just choose OK for that. It gives me this message again about pending changes may disrupt network connectivity. Just a momentary reset of your network adapter. But I'm going to click yes for that. That is now done. So to verify a few things, when I click on Virtual Switch Manager now, you can see here it says vSwitch private, so we know that actually worked. And when I click on my virtual machine, I'm going to sign back in. It's going to automatically launch Server Manager. Sometimes it takes a moment, but you'll see it automatically launch. Now that that's launched, I'm going to click on Local Server. You'll see the computer name is now RTS-DC1. You can see the IP address we set, the 192.168.1.250. And we already looked at this, but we know it's activated. So we have verified all those changes have actually taken effect. So that is our post-installation tasks all completed.